Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we are going to be comparing these two tools. This is the Klein Flickblade utility knife multi-tool, and this is the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1. The Milwaukee Fastback is a pretty popular utility knife, and it's also a somewhat popular EDC knife. Even for folks who don't necessarily need a utility knife, they don't work in a trade where they need that sort of tool, it's still a somewhat popular tool just for folks like myself to stick in their pocket and carry. The Klein Flickblade, I think, is a relatively newer tool, maybe in the last year or so. It is very similar. One might even think surprisingly similar. It kind of looks like somebody was maybe looking at someone else's homework. They both feature a quick open and close utility knife. These tools also each feature a screwdriver. I did a lot of searching across the internet, a lot of the Googling, and these were the only two folding utility knives with this style of driver. I did find a couple that had other types of drivers that had bit storage in the handle, where the bits went into the end of the handle, but these were the only two that I found that had this type of folding drivers with interchangeable bits quite like this. If you know of another company that's making one, an actual brand name, not a knockoff, because there are some really cheap knockoffs of the Milwaukee 6-in-1, let me know. Let's take a look at these. We'll look at the features. We'll do a little bit of a comparison and see how these line up with each other, and maybe we'll see which one is better. Let's start with the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1. The first thing we can see here is the bottle opener. That is one of the 6 tools that they have included there, right on the end. And then we have the blade. This is the Fastback blade. You push the button here and you can flick the blade open. It just opens very easily, so you can swing it open and closed. You have a button here for blade changes. So blade changes are very quick and easy. You have this notch right here. This is a wire stripper. On the inside of the handle right here, there is storage for one extra blade. Slides right in there between the liner and the handle scale. On the back here we have the driver. The driver folds out. It's got a little bit of a detent that holds it right there at 90 degrees. And then if we open it all the way, it locks open with a little liner lock right there. This is a 1/4 inch driver, and it has a double-ended bit. So we have both Phillips and flat. Close the driver, slide the liner lock over, fold it shut. It's a wire pocket clip, held in place with a screw there. That's all the features that I know of on the Milwaukee 6-in-1. I think I covered all 6. Now let's take a look at the features of the Klein Flickblade folding utility knife multi-tool. They don't have a cool name for this one like 6-in-1. This one has the Flickblade opening, which has a button. Press the button and the blade flicks open. This blade, though, has 2 different positions, so it will open all the way. It also has a sort of a half open. This is a 135-degree angle, so you can open it part way to use or open it all the way to 180 degrees. The same quick change mechanism here. Press the button, remove the blade. It's not rust on there, that's leather dye. Flip that around, slide it back in. You can change the blade. Has this notch right there, again a wire stripper. On the back we have the driver that folds out. Folds out, has a bit of a detent there at 90 degrees. Opens all the way out to 180, and it has a liner lock that holds the driver open. This driver has a bit. It's just a ordinary bit. You can put any bit in there. It comes with a Phillips. And this entire bit is removable. This is an impact rated driver here, so you can take this whole thing out, stick it in your impact driver or your drill, and use this. and then store it back in your tool when you're done. Pocket clip right there. And that is the features of the Klein Flickblade. Now let's get into some pros and cons. So let's start with the Milwaukee 6-in-1. It is very easy to open with one hand. Press the button, flick it open, press the button, flick it closed. The 6-in-1 has both a Phillips and a flat bit, which is very handy. I think I used the flat probably more than the Phillips. And of course, you've got the 1/4 inch, so you can put other bits in there as well. And of course, the driver locks open. That's very important. A lot of tools like this, they have screwdrivers, but they don't lock open. So sometimes you're working on a screw and they just fold on you. This one locks very solid, and that's a great feature. Let's talk about the cons of the Milwaukee 6-in-1. This bit is somewhat of a proprietary bit. A regular reversible bit doesn't work in here. It's too long. And this bit is the only bit that snaps in there and fits exactly how it should. So if you lose this bit, you can't just go buy a new one. You can get the part number for any piece of this if you need to replace it. It is kind of annoying that if you lose the bit, you have to call a customer service number to get a new one. You can't just go online and buy them. Another con for the Milwaukee is that extra blade and accessing that extra blade. So it does have blade storage, which is great down here. The problem is getting that blade out if you need it. I think this blade has been in here for like a 1.5 years because it's such a pain to get this blade out. If I need a new blade and I'm at home, I just have blades in the garage and I just swap them out. This is like my emergency blade, I guess. You can't really slide your fingers in and grab it. My method of getting it out is to pry it out with the driver bit. There we go. I like having that blade storage. I just wish it was a lot easier to access. Now let's talk about some pros and cons of the Klein Flickblade multi-tool. It's very easy to open and close. The driver, again, locks open. Very nice. So when you're using it, it's not going to fold closed on you. And this driver can use any bit. There's no proprietary bits here. You can take this out. You could put any bit you want in there. You can run pretty much anything. You can take this bit out. You can stick whatever it is that you want in there. Any bit at all. There's no proprietary double-ended bit that you got to order from customer service. So let's talk about a couple of cons. One con, and this is maybe just annoying to me, it's kind of neat having this 2-position blade, but I do find that a little bit annoying when I'm trying to open and close. Often when I flick it opens very smooth, and you kind of get this bounce back, and then you end up in that half position whether you wanted it there or not. Maybe I'm just flicking it too hard. That's just something that bugs me. The other cons I have are with this driver. This driver has a ton of play in it because you have a bit here and then it's going into a bit there. These are magnetic bits, but there is a ton of play in this. Because of all the play in here, it kind of rattles a little bit, which, you know, just a little bit of a noise issue, but shouldn't really be able to do that. It doesn't stay closed super securely. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. My main problem with this is that I've only got one bit in here. I only have Phillips or I only have flat, and I don't have the option to carry both. And that's kind of a big issue. I use the flat bit on this tool probably more than the Phillips. And I could swap this out for a flat bit, but then I don't have the Phillips. It seems a little bit like a missed opportunity. Maybe I'm missing the part where this is super useful. I would rather have a reversible bit than have this. The one other con is that the Klein sort of feels a little, it feels a little more plastic when you're holding it. The plastic isn't really different from the Milwaukee. I couldn't really figure out why. It just feels more plastic. I think though it's because the way the liners are recessed inside the plastic handle. On the Milwaukee, the liners, the metal liners come all the way here. You can see the metal liners, you can feel them all the way up here. On the Klein, all of the metal liner is recessed inside the plastic handle. It feels more plastic. It isn't, it just feels that way. Being kind of picky, I'm just going on feelings here. And the last con is the pocket clip. The pocket clip, for some reason, sticks up a ridiculous amount here at the end, which is nice when you're trying to get it into your pocket. It comes down to this little point right there, and then that point sticks way out, and it snags on all sorts of things. So the pocket clip could use to with a little, be tamed down a little bit, maybe just round it off instead of coming to a point there. It doesn't need to be that aggressive. So we've seen some pros, we've seen some cons. So which tool is actually the best? And I don't think there is a definitive answer to that. Personally, I like the Milwaukee better. I know there are a lot of issues with it, and a lot of people have problems with it, especially with the driver. I haven't had any issues with it. I haven't lost a bit yet, so maybe I just haven't experienced the downsides to the Milwaukee Fastback. But I don't really think that it's necessarily better than the Klein. The Klein is almost the exact same tool. It has pretty much the same features. The driver is very different and kind of unique. And maybe there's a situation where you need that removable impact driver. That just is going to depend on the job you're doing and what kind of utility you need out of your utility knife. The price on these is virtually the same. Personally, I like the Milwaukee. If you are into orange colored handles, maybe the Klein's better for you. So you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. Which one of these tools do you like better? Have you used either of them? Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you next time.